Okay, let's do problem 100, same tree. So here we're given two binary trees and we need to check if they're structurally identical and nodes have the same value. So example 1, yes, they are structurally identical and all the nodes have the same corresponding values, so we return true. Example 2, yes, all the nodes have the same value, but they're not structurally identical, so we return false. So there are a couple of things we need to check. We need to check if both nodes are null. In this case, they are structurally identical, so we can return true. And then we need to check if one of them is null. We've already checked that both of them aren't null. If this one doesn't get called, that means both of them aren't null. And if one of them is null, that means they're not structurally identical, so we return false. And then if these two don't get called, that means they both have nodes. So we need to check if values are different. And if they're different, we return false. The reason we want to check if they are different rather than they are the same is because when we look at these two root nodes, yes, they do have the same value, and if we return true, we are not really considering any of the subtrees here. So we only return false if they're different. So it's like having this table here. So we need to check if they are both null. In the case, return true. If one of them is null, we return false because structurally different, and we need to check the values. So this one essentially checks, these three essentially checks structural, and this one checks the value. But the first one also checks the value because it's null. So if you were to write them, it would be a simple if statements. If P equals null and Q equals null, return true. And if P is equal to null or Q is equal to null, we return false. And if P.val is not equal to Q.val, we return false. So if you look at, if you think from the roots perspective, these three statements won't be called, and then we have to check the subtrees by recursively calling the method. So it will be P.left, then Q.left, and then we need to do the same tree, Q.left and P.left, and then Q.left. And here's the thing. So these two roots will receive whether the subtrees have the same structure and same value. So it's going to receive either true or false. So we know that it has to be returned here because it needs to get some Boolean value. But if you think about the case, so this will give us whether true or false as a final value. So we do know that true and true will give us true, and every other combination like true and false will give us false, and all the other two conditions will also give us false. So that's why we need to have AND here. Okay, let's run the test. Oh, run test. Oh, should be Q right. What am I doing? Okay, let's submit. All right, that's it.